Well, welcome everybody to today's episode, the latest episode, the Week 5 episode of Overreaction Monday, brought to you by Game Time, the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. Make sure that you use our code after you create an account and redeem that code Overreaction for $20 off your first purchase. Cheerio, Chris Brockman. This is an international version of Overreaction Monday.
Yes,
good to chat
sir.
with you,
Rich,
sir.
great to see you. I don't know what time it is there, but you look fantastic. Fresh off the game yesterday. Great call. Good finish. The Vikings go to 5-0. What are the vibes from over there for that game?
Dude, the Vikings are for real. They are, and that story that I told you on the flagship show on Friday, that every Viking fan that thought I was rooting against the Jets and would never say anything good about their team during the game, what I said on Friday still stands, that their head coach is second to none. There may be some coaches who are just as good as Kevin O'Connell, but he is absolutely not behind anybody. Yeah. He is on it. And this team, having lost Aaron Jones midway through, and we're getting kind of banged around quite a bit in the backfield, and the Jets were able to erase Justin Jefferson essentially from the first quarter all the way through to the second to last drive of the game. The Vikings overcame all that, and they're 5-0. They closed out. They appear to be a team that knows how to close out games. We saw it in Green Bay. We saw it now in London. We also saw it in Green Bay after they had a big lead. We've seen it in all 3 weeks when they take a nice lead and they don't relinquish it. They don't cough it up at the end either. And that's something that they're really good at, man. They're a real deal 5-0.
Yeah, that's the thing that I noticed too. You didn't get the big play. Like Sam Darnold has relied a lot on the big play for the first month of the season. He didn't have a great game, only a handful of fantasy points. If you started him, I know that you did in our show league. And they were still able to grind it out and close out, like you said. Close out, get the W, and now you go back home and sit pretty at 5-0.
No doubt. And the Jets now 2-3, go home and hope Rodgers can heal up fast. The Vikings have a bye. The Jets don't. The Jets chose to keep playing when they return because it's just I would proffer to say the Jets had a shorter trip home than the Giants potentially from Seattle.
Yeah.
And so the Jets are going to keep playing, but they do get an extra day. They play the Bills on a Monday night. That is a huge Week 6 game. 3-2 against 2-3, and hope that what happened with Garrett Wilson is a good sign of things to come. 12 catches, 20 targets. But we'll talk more about it on the flagship show today.
Of course. All right, let's do it.
Ready? Let's start it. Hit it.
That was terrible.
That was crap. That was garbage. This place sucks.
Overreaction Monday.
I will say this, Chris. As soon as we got back from Tottenham, we flipped on the Red Zone and watched all the insanity. I mean, what we saw in college football this weekend with all those top 11 teams falling to unranked teams spilled over to the NFL, man, which was drunk on Sunday. So I'm sure you have got a lot on your plate.
Total drunk football weekend. Let's start NFL-wise, Rich. Let's start Sunday night. I don't know what time that finished or what time it started, but the lightning delay, almost an hour and a half in Pittsburgh. Slow start, strong finish. Sunday night, Rich, was the best win of Dak's career.
Gosh.
I'm talking about the stakes. The point in the season, did he save his coach's job? The momentum, the way the NFC East is shaping up with Washington winning again on Sunday. Dak not playing well to start. The way he finished, the way this can carry out through the rest of the season, signing the huge contract, all in, all of it. Dak, boom. I loved what he did on Sunday night.
You know, Chris, guy ended Tom Brady's career. You know, that's number one.
First off, come on.
Number two.
When people
number
say that,
two.
get
Number
out of
two.
here.
Number two. Hey, I mean, he won a playoff game, and he's not supposed to win a playoff game. Certainly not against Tom Brady, even though the Bucs were less than at that point in time. And they got a game against Detroit coming up next, man.
And that's what I'm talking about. You can't be 2-3 with the Lions coming to your house and a huge late window Fox game on next week.
But let me just say this. Jerry Jones is not firing Mike McCarthy. He's just not doing it. He doesn't have Tank. He doesn't have Micah. He doesn't have Bland.
That's what I mean. He didn't have any of those guys. You had to win that game. You gotta take it on your shoulders, be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, and get it done on the road with all the adversity and the weather going on.
I know. And
who is Tolbert anyway, by the way? You're getting it done with all these supposed less than receivers, and you will that victory with the star on the side of your helmet. Oh, Dak was awesome yesterday.
I think I know what you're saying, Chris,
all right.
Is that Mike
I'm
McCarthy being back in Pittsburgh. Yeah. No, I meant that Mike McCarthy being back in Pittsburgh.
Do you think McCarthy went through the toll booth that he used to work at on his way to the stadium?
I was going to say, here, let me finish what I'm about to say. That,
I'm feeling
that the toll taker won a game in which, had he lost, it would have taken its toll. Is what you're saying.
I know.
And somebody named, hold on a minute, Tolbert was the one who made sure there wasn't any taking of a toll for the toll taker. Did I get that one right?
There's so many tolls.
What you're saying?
We only need J.R.R. Tolkien to spin this tale.
So I'm overselling. You're overreacting.
All right.
And we move on.
Okay. All right, let's go to the other side.
By the way, as you could tell, I'm well rested to come up with that one, to pull that one out of my London orifice.
Man, I'm still recovering from the Cuse in Vegas over the weekend, Rich. All right. Pittsburgh trending in the wrong direction, as is the whole division minus the Ravens. The AFC North is only getting one playoff team.
So, and you choose the Ravens.
It has to be.
Okay. I don't think that's an overreaction right now. I don't think that that's out of the realm. I don't think that that's crazy to say that. But the Steelers still have a great defense, and
yeah, but the offense is so less than.
I know
right now.
The offense is. I hear you, but the Steelers always double, triple down when December hits. So I see what you're saying here.
Yeah, the Browns look like they're going to have a top 5 pick. Like Cincinnati really needed that win. I'm just looking big picture, AFC North.
But you also take a look around and don't see anybody else running away with anything other than the Texans and the Chiefs. So
True.
Look at the rest of the AFC West. I mean, Denver is very well positioned right now at 3-2 with a win over the Jets.
We're going to talk about them later.
Well, I'm just saying though, is that even if you're 3-2, you're still got a leg up over everybody else in the AFC South.
Yeah,
but I'm a leg up over everybody else in the AFC East. So I'll call this an overreaction. I just talked myself into that.
Interesting.
But I understand where you're going, that you like the Ravens right now.
Yeah, I love the Ravens right now. Bengals really needed that game. If you're 1-4, I think your odds of making the playoffs are like 4 or 5%. So you can basically write them off, even though Joe Burrow is playing amazing. We're going to talk about him later too. I just love what the Ravens doing. And then, I saw another show talk about Monday morning, Lamar on his way to a third MVP with the way that he's playing and the way he carried that team yesterday. So AFC North, one team.
He's definitely in the mix for MVP, but we'll see how that one plays out.
Okay.
I'm with you, though.
Let's go down again. I don't know how the end of this game happened. Another game. The Bills kind of blow it. They had the game right there for the taking. Couldn't get it done in Houston. And the first 3 games turned out, Rich, all a mirage. The Bills are going to miss the playoffs.
Well, I think my overreaction prediction at the end of last week's podcast, Christopher, is that the Bills are in trouble.
Yeah.
Would be the overreaction of this week.
I think you're right about that.
No, I was saying that would be an overreaction this week. And sure enough, I think it is because I don't believe, bro, they're winning that division right now.
Not a lot to love about the way they look. Josh Allen, I don't know how he came back in the game. Certainly looked like he had a concussion-like play. And then they said it was his ankle. And then, he was one of the worst games I've ever seen him play.
Brother, It wasn't pretty. The Texans, as you and I believe, are the real thing.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
are the team that can take on the Chiefs in any given Sunday situation in the playoffs. And you even have the Texans going to the Super Bowl.
I do, and with Stroud MVP, I mean, he's really starting to play like it, even without Nico Collins in the second half of that game.
Yep. Yeah, no, so I will just ascribe this to the Bills are in trouble, which means what? Right now, if I had to ask you, here's yes or no question for you.
Okay.
Do the Buffalo Bills host a playoff game in January?
Well, look, you look at the way the AFC East is shaken out.
There's a one-word answer. A yes or no. You agree to that concept, yes or no?
I'm trying to talk
and
this
it's not
out.
millionaire. You don't have to sound your
It's kind of
answer
like
out.
millionaire. I want to sound it out.
Okay.
Certainly,
you want to phone a friend here in London?
Well, Del Tufo is over there. Maybe I can ask him. I would say if you had to ask me today, yeah, the Bills are going to win that division. They're probably the fourth seed in the AFC, but they'll be hosting a playoff game.
So then you just answered your question. Overreaction.
All right. Well,
they're not missing the playoffs.
I was just throwing it out.
They're hosting.
You never know.
Okay, very good.
Can Joe Flacco come back to the Jets? I mean,
dude, man.
Hold on.
Holy cow.
We'll get to that in a second. All right. Okay. I know that they lost yesterday on Sunday, but it wasn't his fault, okay? If the holder just catches it and gets it down, I got to think Evan McPherson makes the kick, and Cincinnati is 2-3. But nobody is playing better than 9 right now. And despite the start, Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the NFL right now.
Dude, I had him as my preseason MVP, and he's incredible.
He
but
is
you know who's also
balling.
Dude, that Jamar Chase touchdown where he just took an easy, quick throw to the right and weaved through the defense like it was the Matrix, like a bullet flying through the Matrix. That was was that a flag football touchdown? That way he ran through everybody and up the sideline. I don't think anybody could have pulled a flag on him.
No.
I don't know what's going on with this defense, bud. I mean, this is my my guy from Staten Island.
Yep.
You know, my brother went to high school with him, and I went to high school with Lou Anarumo's sister. This just did facts that you probably didn't know or care about to know, but it's true. I don't know what's going on with that team. They have coughed up in mid-30s two games in a row that they, you know, are lucky to win one and didn't win the other. That's the difference between being 1-4 and 2-3 and making the playoffs is a steep climb.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's about 5% if you're 1-4.
And now they're at the Giants, and the Giants just beat the Seahawks in Seattle without Malik Neighbors and Devin Singletary. Go no. And I would proffer to say, if the Browns stick with Deshaun Watson, the Bengals issues with Cleveland, and everybody in Cleveland always talking about great Joe Burrow, man, you're awesome, but we own you. I think that changes this year. So there's a pathway out, and part of the pathway out is that Burrow's playing out of his skull. I don't think what you're saying is an overreaction.
I wonder, and I don't have this as an overreaction. Probably won't do it on the Tuesday segment either, but I'm wondering if we can just put maybe in faint pencil that the Bengals are on Belichick watch for 2025.
I don't know about that, dude. I don't know about that.
Fine, Belichick can get his new Brady, Joe Burrow for like the next 5 years, maybe.
Why would you? But in this day and age, man, we were talking about this the other day. You know, and with all due respect to our to defensive-minded head coaches. I just saw one in Salah who I adore. I've got another one coming in Eberflus. As we know, he's one of our favorites, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But when you've got your coach connected to your quarterback as the play caller, that's the stuff you want if you're an owner in the NFL, because the play caller is never leaving for another job. That guy is always going to be there. That's why you want your quarterback connected to the HC who's wearing the headset and calling the plays like we saw with the Vikings. You know, like that's why if your head coach is going to call one side of the ball, you're going to want it to be the offense. And I don't think why would you we're just talking about what Burrow's like, why would you rip out the guy who's calling the plays and in his headset? It's working. Just pay Jamar Chase. You know you're going to have to. Just freaking do it. I mean, this guy is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
What we're seeing right now. And that's part of the reason why we could even have this conversation about how well Joe is playing.
Yeah, I mean, you can see T. Higgins being back, the difference that he's made too. And another guy that wants to get paid and, probably won't be back next year because of his situation. Yeah.
We're at halftime here of Overreaction Monday, brought to you by our friends at Game Time. Again, whenever you want to take your family or your kids, your spouse to a concert, comedy, theater, any sporting event that's out there in the United States right now, make sure you have Game Time on your phone or a mobile device and start using it and buying tickets immediately with it. They have a new feature called Game Time Picks. It makes curation easier to save more on all the events that you want to go to. It shows you only the incredible deals on great seats for something you're looking for, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Your purchase is also covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry, and the all-in pricing gets to show you the cost of your ticket up front, so there's no surprise fees at checkout. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use our code OVERREACTION for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, so visit gametime.co for restrictions. Again, create an account, redeem our code OVERREACTION for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Christopher, second half.
Rich, let's go back to London where you are and you saw this player perform yesterday. I assume you talked to him before the game. Looking at everything that's been going on through the first 5 weeks, how he's getting beaten up, the weird vibes with his head coach and the OC, that headset may or may not be connected to anyone. Aaron Rodgers should not have come back this year.
That's not true. That's an overreaction. First of all, the guy, we did meet with him. The guy that we saw is into football. That's number one. Number two, you can't, if let your career end by having an Achilles tear like that. When I do believe he believes in Garrett Wilson. I do believe that. I do believe that he believes the offense in front of him is something that Devontae Adams can surely help with. That I believe in my bones. And so ending his career, being carted off when he doesn't have to, and he can actually show that he can come back and be the same guy or close to it, or a facsimile of that. Because I do believe he is banged up, and I do believe his 40-year-old body takes more time to heal. And I do believe that he doesn't have the same mobility, and he's learning what he can do right now. He and Garrett Wilson clicked in their best way possible on Sunday, but they're still dealing with issues that receivers are not expecting the throw, or not understanding where he's throwing them open, or throwing them away from coverage, or throwing them the back shoulders. And it unfortunately came home to roost in the final play of the game, where he's throwing to Mike Williams, who didn't turn his head. And the guy who did was Stephon Gilmore, and that's all she wrote. So I was wondering where you were going to go with this one, but him not coming back at all, I don't see that. And also just as pushback as well, I don't think he and Salah are in bad
You don't
situation either. No, I heard from both of them.
Okay, but what's with all the sideline stuff? We're just seeing during games and like even some post-game comments. It just looks like they're, I'm not going to say bad vibes, but they're clearly not on the same page.
No, the thing that happened with the shove, that's the thing that really started it all.
Yeah,
was
for
that
sure. But that was week one.
Salah on the
two.
Thursday
Yeah.
night. That was week 3. It was the Thursday night game in their home opener when Rodgers put the Jets up 2 scores, and Salah went to hug him, and Rodgers shoved him back. We talked about it, and say either you believe it or not.
Right.
But Salah had been spending time busting Rodgers' balls about the offense not clicking yet, and basically saying to him, why don't you give this defense a 2-score lead and see what we can do with it? And he was ribbing Rodgers in that way. And Rodgers gave him a 2-score lead. Salah went to hug him, and he shoves him back, and he says, "There's your 2-score lead," and walked away.
Okay.
And so that was that. And we saw it. Salah was told when he came off the field by Jets PR, "You had a viral moment in the game." And he goes, "What viral moment?" And they're like, when Rodgers shoved you away. And he's like, get the F out of here. Really? That's the way they're taking it, because he was ribbing Rodgers about the offense in a way that, a head coach would get under the skin of somebody or just have fun with a player. And Rodgers, he was to hug him, and he just shoved him back. He goes, "There's your 2-score lead." I don't think that's the issue. If there's an issue, it's just the offense is going to take some time to grow and meld and mesh. And I think Davante Adams would be a new voice that would voice for Rodgers what he's trying to tell everybody there in that receiver room about how to operate this offense. And that's it.
Yeah,
right there.
I don't want to say that he looked the W word yesterday, but he kind of looked a little bit like the W word.
Oh, some of the throws he's made. Even Kurt during the game, Chris, was saying, there's no issue with him throwing the ball. Okay. I mean, that ball's got zip, and it's being put in, perfect spots where he's trying to throw it. There's a couple of them that he would want back, and he's not perfect. But no, I wouldn't say the W word is washed, or the fact that he shouldn't have come back.
Okay, Breece Hall, that's kind of an issue, though, right?
Dude, they got yeah, they got to run it.
Yeah,
they can't run it. I mean, Rodgers threw it 50 friggin' times.
Yeah, that's a lot.
They threw it at one point 20 times in a row. So that ain't it. That ain't it. Not when you got Breece Hall and Braylon Allen. So they got to figure that out. And here come the Bills at a huge Monday night, because if they beat the Bills, they're 3-3. They'll be in first place. I mean, that's exactly where they would be, 3-3. And after all this, 6 weeks in, having a shot to win the division, that's where you want to be.
It's weird how the AFC East has now become the new NFC South, where it's like, maybe 500 is going to win this division.
Possibly.
Speaking of the NFC South, I know this happened way back on Thursday, so we kind of forgot, but Kirk Cousins did Super Bowl out last week in that huge victory, and the Falcons have the best offense in the NFC.
No, I saw the best offense in the NFC in London. Yeah.
The Vikings have the best. What?
Yeah. I saw if Aaron Rodgers, if Aaron Jones is healthy, the best offense in the NFC.
I did not think that's who you were going to say.
Or the Lions have a pretty damn good one too. And yes, listen, man, McCaffrey comes back, the Niners are gonna look a heck of a lot better.
That's a pretty big if.
Ayuk, I know. Ayuk flashed finally.
Yeah,
right?
a little bit. He had 100 yards in the middle of the second quarter. Yeah, they lost.
I know they did. So they have one of the best.
Okay.
That is for sure.
Interesting.
I'm not going to sit here and say they have the best one in the NFC right now. Not when Justin Jefferson's doing what he's doing. And again, I saw firsthand about Kevin O'Connell and how he's scheming this, and how Sam Darnold is plugged in. And if Aaron Jones is hurt significantly, then I'll have to pull back and look at the Lions. Don't forget the Packers either. They're in the mix though, and which we didn't say over the first couple of weeks. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Are we now back on the Falcons? Are we allowed to go back on them?
Well, here's the thing. We already kind of mea culpa with the Bucks, and then maybe
with the Bucks.
We were
right. We said the Falcons are going to win, and you said they're going to even be in the NFC Championship game and an Overreaction Monday, and then the Bucks looked like they did against Washington, and then they started, then they beat the Lions, and then the Falcons needed to pull one out of their orifice against the Philadelphia Eagles, and then you and I come on this show. I think, and we totally reversed course. I think this being the type of show that it is about overreactions and things of that nature, we have a couple of preemptories in our pocket.
Sure. I'm a little worried too. I gotta say, like, the Bucks social team is so good. I don't want to end up on one of those end of the year videos where we like flip flop all over the place.
You can't be afraid of that. But I think just the nature of this program, sending up the way we do some of the takes in our industry, is we have a couple preemptories on this program to pull out, reverse course, and wait a minute. The most important part about it is act as if we didn't say anything like the opposite before.
Yep.
So I think we should do that right now.
All right, I'm back on the Falcons. I'm back on the Falcons.
I'm with you.
Back.
Well, because, I said they would win the division going into the season.
Yeah, me too. And,
And I don't remember ever reversing course for the Bucs.
I don't either. Like, I don't even. Tampa, who?
Exactly. Well done. Well played, sir.
All right, 2 more, Rich, before we close up shop here on Overreaction Monday for Week 5. I got to give a shout out to our dear friend Chris Long. He had said this a couple weeks ago. Teams that play the Lions, okay, watch out for the next week. They're really beat up and they're capable of getting got. It happened last week. And it happened again this week. The Giants go out to Seattle, who played that tough physical game against Detroit in Week 4. And Daniel Jones, man, he gets them on the road in Seattle in front of the 12s. The Giants won't finish in 4th place in the NFC East.
Oh, that's such a good one, Chris. That's such a good one.
They did it without Malik Neighbors, maybe the best rookie receiver we've seen in forever.
I know.
Who is their running back? Some guy named Tracy?
Well, you picked him up for in our sleeper league.
Oh, yeah, I did. Led us to a win.
Does that mean the Eagles do or the Cowboys do? That's what that means, Chris.
That's what that means. Because it's not going to be fight for old DC. They're playing great.
Hey, at this point in time, you got to give the Giants their props and say, oh man, AJ Brown's going to come back. Devontae Smith's going to come back. Cowboys have already won in East Rutherford. So that's a tall order. They've got to beat Saquon. If they beat Saquon in their house, you just can't put anything past them. If they put something in the end zone week 2, then this would be.
You could make the case. The Giants could be 4-1 if their kicker doesn't get injured. Right, they win week 2 in Washington, and they had a real chance to beat Dallas.
I'll agree with you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Rich Eisen, dude, back.
Let me tell you something. Last night we were all gathered together. As soon as we were done with we got back to our hotel and we had a viewing party. We watched all the games all the way up until Sunday Night Football, and this was a big. Giant leap forward for Munich kind. A small step for the Giants, but a giant leap forward for that Munich game. And we were all like, oh man, unbelievable that the Giants are 2-3. They could be, as you said, 3-2, 4-1. Oh man. So I'll just say, for the sake of, I'll agree with you.
Yeah,
why not?
Let's go.
I'm not gonna, they've got it. I can't put my finger on it. But they've got something where they're a sum of their parts, man. And
Danny Dimes.
I'm enjoying it. Oh, but yeah, and I'm getting all these tweets from people saying, "Stop mentioning that they missed Saquon Barkley." I'm sorry.
They definitely can still use him.
Come on. You know what I mean? Like everybody
Wan'Dale
can just.
Robinson is out there balling, man.
He has been. He's been great.
He's been great. Okay, last one.
Yeah.
Last one. Now, it was a extremely slow start for this group. One has separated, but the other 2 have come on strong the last 2 weeks. Rich, all 3 rookie starting quarterbacks are going to make the playoffs. Caleb Williams, balling, number 1 QBR in Week 5. Yeah, Jaden Daniels is in the MVP mix of the league, and Bo Nix. Did you see Sean Payton called him Ferris Bueller?
Yeah, I saw that, and he said he'd only seen it a couple times because the movie's old.
And also, are those the best throwbacks in the NFL? The Broncos jerseys from Sunday? My goodness, those are beautiful.
I know, and man, the Broncos defense is no joke.
First win against the Raiders in how long?
Joke. 0.0 joke. They had lost 8 in a row to the Raiders.
There you go.
I don't know. I'm concerned about the Bears making the playoffs.
3-2.
I don't know. Listen. 2 teams make it out of the South.
You're going to see them next week.
2 teams make it out of the South, yes or no? Yes or no?
2 teams make it out of the South. Yes.
Okay. 2 teams make it out of the West.
Ooh. I don't know about that. One team West.
All right. How many teams make it out of the East? Can't say one.
No, probably 2. Maybe 3.
Okay. All right. Well, then you're not going to get 3 out of the North. You're going to get 2 out of the North.
We might.
You get 3 out of the North. I'm concerned about the Bears. That's why I'll just push back here.
3-2. 3-2. Caleb was looking better.
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift has been found.
Let's see if Drake Maya gets in there. Hey, did you hear I said G-Reg Zerillion?
I did. Well, by the way, well done. Well
Thank
done.
you, sir.
G-Reg
Zerillion.
Drake Maya, I don't have a Patriots overreaction this week because those are just my personal venting periods. But, I mean, what are we doing? We got to do something. Also, can we fix that rule?
Yes.
You just led me to it. What's the difference between the sideline toe tap and the end zone back toe tap? That's a touchdown. Can we fix that? Jalen Pope gets his left foot down, right foot toe is down, touchdown, and they're like, no, because the heel hit. Well, what's the difference on the sideline and the back of the end zone? Come on.
No, I don't think. I think if a heel hits the sideline, it's an incomplete pass.
But toe tap, we're dragging, we're toe dragging, we're back dragging.
I know. Usually it's a toe drag. With the front of the foot being the one that's dragging towards the sideline. Not
also, he was wide open. Why did he have to leap and make this spectacular grab?
Because he's young. Because
the quarterback can't deliver the football on time and in the right spot.
Bad.
Again, I didn't want to vent. All right.
My bad on that one.
All right.
But listen, even your coach said it was the right call.
What's he going to say? Risk getting fined?
All right.
Okay.
You got your
I got one.
By the way, I've gotten 2 in a row correct.
You are on fire. And by the way, I was an overtime missed fumbled extra field goal snap from getting mine about the Bengals. Right. Okay, so this week, our reaction that we're going to overreact to, the Bears are going to win the NFC North. Hear me out. They go to London. Jacksonville tried to blow it on Sunday, escaped with a victory. Go to London. Bears, Caleb Ballin, going to win 3 in a row, go to 4-2. Lions are in Dallas next week.
Okay.
Lose. Cowboys. Dak builds on the greatest win of his career in week 5. Take out the line in week 6. Suddenly, who's in first place in the North but the Chicago Bears?
What about the Packers? Don't forget them. What about them?
I wasn't thinking about them. That didn't fit my narrative. It didn't fit this narrative that I'm building.
You didn't totally, okay.
And then I'm shape-shifting.
Okay. All right.
Bears
all right. Here's mine.
All right.
Here's mine. I believe this is going to go down this week. I believe whoever wants him is going to get him right away, that this isn't going to fester.
Ooh.
And I think Davante Adams is going to go this week. And the overreaction is whichever team gets Davante Adams is making the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Oh,
this is so hot and spicy. Wow.
Whoever gets Davante Adams is going to go to the Super Bowl.
So we're talking what? Jets, Bills, Chiefs, Saints, any of those 4 teams?
Everybody, whoever gets him,
any of those
Chiefs
teams
aren't going to get him. Chiefs aren't going to get him. They're not getting him.
Well,
but whoever gets him,
wow,
the fan base is going to be like, we're making the Super Bowl. We're
That's
getting them.
great.
Look how it's going. You're going to hear that.
I
think it happens this week, actually.
What if he stays with the Raiders?
I don't think that's happening.
Okay. Oh, you don't think it's happening? Okay.
Nope. I don't think that is going to be a feasibility.
Wow. Okay. Love it. Great job, man. That was
hey, brother.
Awesome.
Our next Overreaction Monday, I'll be back. I'm literally landing from London and then coming right to that studio to do this in person. So
fantastic.
I appreciate it. As always, Chris Brockman. For Chris Brockman, I'm Rich Eisen saying, hopefully you enjoyed our overreactions or not right here on the program.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern for free.